Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you can't tell, I've changed my hair color. I just got it done yesterday, so I'm really in love with the color. I think it looks really good, but enough of that. So this video is to discuss Warm Bodies. It is a book review. So I will be reviewing this book that I've currently just finished, and yeah, let's talk through it. So I'm currently writing my senior dissertation. I'm still in university, so I've picked my dissertation topic, and it has to do with The Walking Dead, the television show on AMC. So my topic has to do with why we watch zombie stuff, why we consume zombie entertainment. Doesn't it scare us? Does it frighten us? Do we empathize with the characters? So that's why I kind of read this book in the beginning. I actually watched the movie first, and the movie reminded me that there was a book, so I went and I picked up the book. This is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. And it's a small book, as you can tell. It's not that big, so it was quite a quick read, but if you don't know it, it's a book about a zombie named R, and you're stuck in his head the entire time. He meets a living girl, and he actually takes her back to where he lives. He lives in an airplane at the airport. And basically it's just their adventure he's trying to keep her, and he's realizing along the way, flashes of his humanity. He's feeling things for this girl, and he's starting to realize that maybe things could change and he doesn't have to be so dead. So I've given this book a 4.5 on Goodreads. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 is because I didn't enjoy the character Perry. He gets stuck in R's head. I'm not going to tell you why, but his voice gets stuck in R's head for the remainder of the book, and I just don't see why he's needed. He's out of the picture at this point, and I just don't understand why his hopes and dreams that continue to go in R's mind are so important. I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of confusing. It was all this italicized font, and it was just, him reliving his life a bit. I didn't think it really added that much to the story. I think R could have, developed without the help of Perry's character, so that was the only problem I didn't really like with the book. I mean, obviously some people might like Perry's character, but I personally did not. I loved R, the character R. He was such a lovely main character's head to be stuck in. It was so interesting, and it was a fresh perspective to be put into a zombie's mind instead of, the survivor's mind. This is how a zombie sees the apocalyptic world, and it was quite interesting to see how him and other zombies interacted. Definitely in this book, zombies have more of a conscience. I mean, maybe conscience isn't the right word, but they have a society almost, and they do, societal things, and there's these characters, the Bonies, which are basically just skeletons of zombies who've just given up and their flesh has actually peeled away to just reveal a skeleton, and they seem like the kind of people who they're the leaders of this group, and they lead all the other zombies. So they do have some sort of hierarchy in it, and it's just interesting to see how, the zombies interacted. You wouldn't normally see that in a survivor zombie book because you're concerned with the survivors and how they survive in their hierarchy within the humans who are still alive. I thought R and Julie's relationship was really cute. Obviously she's a huge character in the book. R has some obsession with her. You don't really know why he picked her. It could have been he picked Julie's best friend Nora, but he really liked Julie, and it's really interesting to see how their relationship got on. They start to have a relationship, and it's between a human and a zombie. Obviously he has to curb his zombie tendencies to be around her, but it's so interesting, and the way that the other zombies kind of follow his lead, and it sparks something, and that's the whole premise of the book. It sparks something in the rest of them, and to see if maybe things could change, if this world could be better. So this book really poses some deep questions about society in general and the way that society might change if there was a zombie apocalypse. I think, R talks a lot to the reader, kind of just questions in his mind, saying, is this really so different from society right now? He says, the things that make zombies are, they don't have any love, there's no compassion, there's no sadness, anger, there's no emotions. Basically, there's only just one primal, primitive, thing that is hunger, and that's what drives them, that's what gets them going. But there's no, there's nothing that makes them human. So I think that's really interesting because the author said basically, is this so different from society nowadays? We're just going around aimlessly, bumping into each other, do we even really have that much emotions? Really? We're just trying to live our lives and, I don't know, he's just saying, it's a really grim outlook on society nowadays, but there's a truth in it by saying, you know, us humans are no different. We are zombies. We just walk around mindlessly, you know, trying to complete our lives, but do we really live them? Do we really live them? Do we really feel all the emotions that come with being a human, or are we just kind of numb, walking around mindless zombies? So again, that's a really interesting topic that has to do with my dissertation. I just find that such a fascinating topic. Anyway, it poses a lot of deep questions, and it really gets you thinking about, you know, life right now and life if zombies filled it. So it is really interesting, it is mind-boggling, it's thought-provoking, and I think that's really good. You don't get that from a lot of books. It's usually just survival horror, zombies, you know, fighting zombies, maybe a bit of action with other human survivors, but this actually gets into, you know, the psychology of a zombie, you know, the thought process, the feelings of being human. I don't know, I just think it has a little bit of deeper meanings that really make this book shine for me. So again, lots of good, you know, interesting questions, and I really recommend it to anybody, even from a psychology standpoint. It's really, really interesting. So the last comment I have to say about this book is it is a sweet story with splashes of gore. Who doesn't love a sweet love story based between a human and a zombie, and with splashes of gory zombie goodness? I mean, it's awesome. Again, 4.5 on Goodreads from me, and it just has a lot of good reviews. So watch the movie, read the book, and let me know what you think about it. So that's it for my book review of Warm Bodies. It was really good. Again, I recommend it to anybody. For my next book review, I will probably be doing the book I'm currently reading, which is Feed. And it is another zombie book, obviously. I am on a zombie binge right now. And it's just about, like, you know, again, a post-apocalyptic world, except this one's been lived in quite for some time. Warm Bodies was about, I think, like, up to 10 years maybe. It wasn't that long after. This one is like 30 years to 40 years after the initial outbreak had began. It's about journalism and politics in a world infested with zombies, which is really interesting. I didn't think I was going to like it because, to be honest, I'm not into journalism or politics that much, but the way that the author just, like, intertwines it with the zombies and stuff, it actually makes a really interesting book. I am about this far into it, so I still have a bit to go, but I will definitely be reviewing this book. This is probably my next book review. It's Feed by Mira Grant, and it's pretty good. Another zombie book. I have watched the movie on it, and it was, in my opinion, terrible. So I have higher hopes for the book, which is really highly rated on Goodreads, but honestly, I hated the movie. Hated it. But we'll get into that when I do that review. And the last zombie book I currently have in my possession, I will probably be buying more, is Rot and Ruin by Jonathan Maberry. Again, an awesome zombie book. Haven't really read the back of this one yet. Either way, has high ratings. I know it has a couple books in the series, so I'm excited to read it. And I will be doing a review on all of these. Again, these are research materials for to gather background information for my senior dissertation. Obviously, these aren't academic sources that I will be using in my dissertation, but it's good to, like, read around the genre and know, like, you know, why are people so invested in reading these books and watching these movies about something that's so awful and terrifying. It's a really interesting topic, and I encourage a lot of you to go out and maybe just pick up a zombie book, because it's not that bad. And if you're, you know, not into all the gore and all that good, in my opinion, good stuff, definitely read Warm Bodies, because it has a love story in it, which, you know, between a zombie and a human, which you don't really get that often, obviously, not really at all in these books. So it makes them a little bit more human, and if it's your first time reading a zombie book, or, you know, doing any kind of zombie entertainment, I think it's a good way to break the ice and really get you into that awesome genre.